This is just for the live. I go back and edit show notes and
stuff.
I'm get going, then get good, and sometimes I forget the second part.
So Preeminence Unleashed /
Twist. And then I'm going to let me get this shared in the group because I think Alyssa is going to be spending some time in there delivering value to the vault.
That I am, sir.
Cool. So we are excused. We are we're live. We're in the group. We're on the page.
We're live.
And Jeff's voice is ready for the intro. It's the best. And I am super excited. I'm actually really, really excited about this. Basically, what's going to happen is I'm going to tell you why I'm excited to sit back and listen to these two jam. And then Jeff is going to do his sexy voice intro.
Oh, God.
And we're going to learn about Alyssa, Alyssa has now been twice. You've been to our office from Canada. So came from out of town, out of the country twice now. And both times there's been groups of people here. And I already knew it, but I keep hearing how brilliant you are and how I said something about something that was a little obscure like 5 minutes ago. I went and told Tim and Mallory some of the stuff we talked about, and Mallory goes, "Oh, is Alyssa involved?"
Awesome.
Right? It was just one of those things like, oh, that had to be only one person could think of that. And so I'm really excited because you have such a great marketing mind, and it's just, you call it on the spot marketing. And Jeff obviously himself is, we talk about it all the time. He's a secret weapon. He's a legendary questioner, Socratic questioner. And I'm super excited. Alyssa's going to be for you in the group, for those of you in the group, Alyssa's going to be active in the group. She's starting some new stuff, and she delivers so much value. Like that's what we're about here. We talk about Preeminence Unleashed, leading with value. And the two people I'm sitting here with, I'm always here with Jeff, but Alyssa she's delivered so much value to me and our people, and she's going to do more. And I'm super excited to have her here and talk about what she's doing and what to expect in the future, and get some insight as to how her brain works. So that's the group intro, and now Jeff can hit the podcast intro, and we'll
This is so embarrassing now.
It's awesome.
Want me to do it?
Preeminence Unleashed.
Okay, now Alyssa, you try.
Preeminence Unleashed.
All right, we'll see which one they use. Hopefully both.
Yeah. I don't think they've used any.
Well,
Ryan's like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
We're not using it.
They probably, like, when they get our recording, they just start at like minute 6. Like, go straight to minute 6, and if they're still talking nonsense, go to 10.
And they stop at minute 7.
Yeah.
Go, done.
Yeah.
Alyssa, thank you. I've met you obviously over at the office as well. And you do have an extraordinary skill set.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to make it like, I think that I would like to ask you to bring us up to where you are now when we're talking about on the spot marketing. If anybody's seen Jim Quick on stage and kind of memorize numbers and do all this stuff, and then boom, give you the answer, multiplying numbers and doing these things. It's a pretty amazing thing to watch. But to be in a meeting and watch Alyssa listen to what somebody's doing for 5 minutes, maybe ask 2 questions, and then just go, boom. with an idea that is fully formulated, and with a vision that kind of is a down the road, like, here, this is what you can start doing, this is who you'd start doing it with, and this is what it would mean to you and it mean to them. And it's an amazing skill set. So can you kind of bring us up to speed of where you were before we met, and before the people that are going to be listening to you now, what brought you to this day?
So I'll make it really easy because I have been an entrepreneur for most of my life. I glued fur to rocks, and I sold them as pet rocks at my school Christmas fair when I was 11. And I made $200, and I thought I was a millionaire. I mean, I just thought I was a millionaire. And so I've been an entrepreneur for most of my life. Won a government award to start a business when I was 17. Went to school for, are you ready for this, Jeff?
I am.
I'm trained as a goldsmith. That's what I went to school for.
Nice.
And so I made jewelry for a number of years, and I can't do that anymore, unfortunately, and don't really want to. Really love the marketing part of it, and making jewelry is a very solitary position and a very dirty one, believe it or not. So I decided I wanted to do a bunch of other things. And I used to, come up with marketing for people, and they'd say, you should charge for that. And I'm like, I don't know how to charge for this. I make jewelry. And so I started sort of figuring that out. And then by fluke, at one point, somebody said, do you think you could come in and speak about this topic? And I said, well, I guess so. Sure, I could come in for that. And then I fell in love with speaking. And then I figured out how to put marketing and speaking together. And now I do that. And it's a wonderful thing.
Can I just say right now that I don't know, I wrote down this word 4 times as you were speaking.
Okay.
Alchemy.
Oh boy, that's a big one.
And I'm just like, wow, she's like a marketing alchemist, a business alchemist, meaning, from the old days, right? Where they would turn iron into gold is what the pharaohs wanted the alchemists to do. And, you say, well, God, they never turned iron into gold. But
no, they really didn't.
What did we get from that? We got pharmacy, we got metallurgy, we got all these different urges, or C's, that and what you did as you were a goldsmith, that turned, a raw material into something beautiful, wearable, and shareable.
Totally.
And now you do that type of goldsmithing or alchemy for
I never even thought of it like that. I never even thought of it.
I think from now on, you're the marketing alchemist.
Oh boy, someone's going to have to see if that URL is available.
Yeah. Really, that's harder to spell than Alyssa.
I mean, I know
it's harder to spell than Alyssa.
Business alchemy is taken, I'm sure, but you really, I mean, it just so snaps together with what you do in marketing on the spot, is be able to take somebody's raw material and make it beautiful and make it wearable and shareable, and so I think we're on to something.
We might be, and we should maybe play in that sandbox. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. But let's talk about, so you went and spoke. What was that first topic about?
Completely unrelated to business. So it was sort of a customer service training. So I shouldn't say entirely unrelated to business. It was basically a customer service training on how to interact with people with disabilities, because that was one of the sandboxes I used to play in. I just did some respite care and worked with people with special needs for a little while. So that was the topic. And they wanted to be able to provide great customer service to people with disabilities. And so I went in and did a workshop on how to do that with them. And that was in 2011, I think. And they asked me back about a month later to train their other team. And then they said, gosh, do you think you could come and do our summer camp group? And I said, sure, I can do that. And then they had me back again the next year. And I thought, gosh, I wonder if I can make money speaking. And so I went to the NSA conference, National Speakers Association conference in Philadelphia, I think was the one I went to. And one very late evening, somebody knew that I was a new person, and he came up and he put his arm around me, and he put his arm around somebody else whose name is David Avrin. I don't know if you know David. He wrote It's Not Who You Know, It's Who Knows You.
Oh, wow.
Fabulous book. Anyway, and he said, Alyssa, it is David. And I was like, how much beer have you had? Probably a lot. And yeah, and David told me this later. He's like, I rolled my eyes because you were another newbie who wanted to talk to me. But the first thing he said to me was, what's your topic? And I told him, customer service, people with disabilities, like, this is what I spoke about. And he's like, you should never speak about that again. Like, total deadpan face. And I was like, oh, okay. Why? And he's like, there is no money in that. And it's, because it's going to be legislated, it will be regulated. And so there'll be only specific people who can do that specific topic. And I said, okay, so what do I do? And so we got chatting and, we went from there.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And now, aren't you involved with a philanthropy right now? And
I am. I've just finished my major contribution to that, like time-wise, but definitely will still be involved otherwise. So I'm involved with a summer camp that brings foster children to overnight summer programs. And my partner and I actually were just approved to be foster parents to 2 of our campers. So it's pretty exciting.
Oh my good.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. We'll just have them part-time. So yeah, it's going to be great.
Speaking was kind of your gig, and still is.
Still is.
Where did marketing on the spot come? What you do and the thing that you do that it's almost like a magic show?
Oh my God, I love it so much. So I think probably we should define for people what I do, because I think there's a little bit of like this ethereal, like, what the F is someone going to tell us what she does? Can we do that first?
There we go.
Cool.
Go.
So what I do is I listen to people and I listen to what they're up to, and I create some piece of offline marketing, something that physical that can be sent in the mail with a note to get the attention of the other person. So what I believe is that we can create what I call the bridge of belonging, which sounds super unsexy, my friends, but let me tell you, is super necessary. And there's tons of research to back this up. So what we want to do is tell our customer who's like out there, our prospect, yes, I get what you do. I understand where you are. And when we do that, they go, oh, you understand me. I belong with you. You're my people. And that's what we want by doing this. So I come up with these boxes to send. And, one of my favorite ones is the dictionary. I know you really like that one too, Jeff.
Yes.
I said, so we sent a dictionary out, and friends like, swipe this and make it yours. We sent out dictionaries for an accountant who wanted to do corporate, and they didn't have in-house accounting. So we looked for corporations who didn't have somebody in-house. We sent these dictionaries that said, do you feel like you need this to talk to your accountant? If so, call. And off they went. And he's done very, very, very well. I did another one for an insurance company called Sun Life, and I sent them 2 snow globes, and one was full of mud and one was full of water.
Nice. I remember this one.
And I put a note, and it said, do you want your advisors to be clear or clear as mud with your potential clients? And I was the only speaker they booked for that series. They were going to do a whole series, and they're like, we'll just book you. That was great.
That is very cool. That is very cool.
Yep.
You also innovated something in speaking, I thought that I thought was very interesting. And that was you speak and then you do a breakout session, not like in the room, but there's like sessions where you're actually individually meeting with people that are in the audience.
Totally. So I am not a fly in, fly out speaker. I'm a fly in, hang, give you everything I've got. And if you need more, I'm there kind of speaker. So if I'm doing an hour speak, then about 35 minutes through, I stand up and we do like 3 audience members on the spot, and I come up with marketing for them on the spot. I have never met these people before. I finish my speech, so I'm at about the 55 minute mark. And then I say to people, if you want to come and spend time with me for 10 to 15 minutes later, you can do that. And so I have the event planner just book out a room, and we just go back to back to back to back for every 10 to 15 minutes with whomever wants to come.
So let me ask you a question real quick while we're here, because you've done this for me, right? Like we had a little jam session. It was more than 15 minutes.
So fun. Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. It was, I just word vomited, and then there was like drawings and pictures and colors and
my Picassos. They're my Picassos.
Yeah.
Was there acid involved in this somewhere?
It looked like there may have
drawings and pictures and colors.
Yeah. I was just word vomiting, and then like now there's a storyboard, right?
Alyssa in Wonderland here.
But my question is this. what you just said, you could speak
Yep.
and then do 15-minute. Will you do that for our network and our vault members?
Of course. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Of course. Yeah. We'll book out a day and we'll just put Zoom on, and like every 10 to 15 minutes, we'll switch people for sure.
Awesome. So that will, the Facebook group is Profit, Control, and Freedom. Or you can go to preeminenceunleashed.com and click on community, and it'll drop you in there, and you can participate in this when we set it up. So thank you for that. That's going to be fun.
Oh yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Awesome. That is fantastic. So the first time that somebody came up, like you offered, hey, I'm going to, bring 4 people up or whatever. We're going to do some marketing on the spot. Right. There's a big leap of, being able to know you can do that. And the very first time you did it, how did that work out for you? And what prompted you to even offer that?
I won't tell you about the first one because I can't remember the first one, but I can tell you what happens to me when I do it. And I'll tell you about a really good one I came up with that got some fabulous reaction.
Great.
Does that work?
Yes, please.
Okay. So your hippocampus is the part of your brain that's responsible for like really happy stimulation. So gamification, when you have an orgasm, if you get high, like that's the area of your brain that's stimulated. And so I call these my happy hippocampus moments. I was sitting in a group. It was a small networking group. There were maybe 20 women there. And it was a woman who has a bakery. And she only sells 2 types of cookies. Like, that's it. You can have shortbread A or shortbread B. That's it. That's all she sells. And she said, I'm trying to figure out how to go corporate. I don't know what to do. And I just looked at her and I said, well, why don't you send your cookie boxes with crumbs in the bottom and a note that says, looks like the postman ate these. You better order some while they're still hot.
Awesome.
And the room was just like,
awesome.
What just happened? And I went, this is really cool. Like,
yeah.
I literally feel high right now. And the more I do it, the higher I feel. So no, there's no acid. There's just lots of marketing. It makes me really happy.
Good.
Awesome. You know what? I just think that it makes people stop. It makes people go, oh, I can do that. But what about these 10 other things I'm supposed to do? I'm like, so I started doing the math on this, Jeff. This might be really interesting to you. So I tell you what, I'll describe it and then we can put it in the show notes. Is that cool, Nick?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So let's say you send out a $25 box. Okay. Yep. And it costs you $10 to ship it. So you got a $35 investment and you send out like 50 of these boxes.
Right.
Okay. So if my memory serves me correctly, this is $1,750. Have we got that right so far?
How many did you send out?
50.
Okay.
Are we at 1,750?
I don't know. I'm sitting
okay.
Do it on my.
I don't have a calculator. I'm taking notes.
Okay. So let's just say it's 1,750. So if you close 50% of those at $5,000 each, you've made $125,000 for investing $1,750.
Right.
That is a 1 to 71 ROI.
That is amazing. When I did, we did a thing called Wild Things, and we had.
I love this story. Yes.
The gourmet. Well, I don't know if I told this one. The gourmet giveaway. We did a couple of them. And the gourmet giveaway, we gave away $25 worth of steak and seafood. There was a package that you could order, and it cost us about $45 to ship. And so the whole thing was like, I think it was like doing the math. The whole thing ended up costing us like $85, but it was free. And then what I did in a series was say, okay, you want another free deal? Then send me a video of you opening this and preparing this seafood and post it on this site. And we'll send you a coupon for another free, package. And, it's like $100 worth. And so they would be able to order that with $100 worth. And there was another thing we had them jump through where it was a share this with somebody, and we just kept going. And so I love that. And I remember sharing that with, oh God, what's his name? He's Perry Belcher and told him what I was doing and the numbers that we were doing. And the average customer, after they got the first shipment, when they ordered over $350, like every couple of months. So we were spending $85 and generating over the course of a year, we were generating about $2,000 in sales at about a 50% margin. And so we spent $85 to make $1,000. And it was awesome. The other one I did, and I shared this one with Dean Jackson, and it's very right down the thing, is that we had $25 gift cards that we gave away. And we said, hey, you know, to a real estate agent or a landscape architect or somebody like that, hey, here's $25 gift cards. And we gave them 5 at a time. We gave them 1, and they said, if you'd like to give these away to your customers or clients, we will give these to you at 5 at a time. However, if you'd like to trade them in, we will sell you $100 gift cards for $50 a piece.
That's really cool.
We actually made, when somebody took the $25, that was fine. But because of the margins that we were cutting, we actually, when we sold a $100 gift card, we made $15 on that $100. And we got $50 already up front. Yep. So it was just, I just love those types of ideas, and the utilization of I use the inbox, Brian Kurtz's cost, the inbox we grew up with, right? That you're sending, you know, and it's almost, I don't want to call it lumpy mail anymore. You're actually sending
that. That just makes me cringe.
Yeah, it's a gift that you're sending in the mail, and everybody loves a gift, right? You know, nobody likes surprises except the ones they want. And you've done this, but you've done it with metrics. Like, this is what and by the way, the cookie lady doesn't cost $25 to ship cookie crumbs.
Nope.
That is so brilliant to me, to be able to to be able to do that on the spot. How did you know you had that talent when you started doing it?
Oh, I literally just would come up with it. Like, I'd be at, you know, networking events or whatever, and people would be like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with marketing, and I don't know what marketing is. How do I do this? And I'm like, all it is a bridge between you and another customer. All you're doing, or a prospect, excuse me, or a customer for that matter. You market to current customers as well. You know, telling them, I get you. Telling them, let's do this together. That's what it's about.
Yeah, but it's proactive. So it's proactive empathy, you know, and which is, you know, people call it compassion. I don't think that's compassion. I just think it's proactive empathy without,
so do I,
you know, and identifying it before the customer identifies it for you proactively.
Shall we talk about a really neat one I did recently to somebody that you might have introduced me to?
Oh, goodness. Go ahead.
So I sent one to Steve Sims.
Nice.
And I sent him a bricklayer's trowel, and I sent him a shoe shine brush. And I said, what does some bricklayer from East London and a shoe shiner from Toronto have in common? And that was the message I sent him. And I said, you know, I told him, like, we both get people. We both know people. So let's do some business together. And the entire email I got back from him, see if I can quote this word for word, was well played. You know, something like that was about all I got. Yeah. So, you know, it's pretty neat to be playing in that kind of sandbox when other people understand you. And yes, at some point I was a shoe shiner in Toronto. You were? I was. That's how I helped pay for school, was I sold jewelry and I shined shoes. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That is such a, I mean, just the creativity what is your most creative part of the day? Like time of day? Yeah. All of them? Really? All of the times? All of the time? Yeah. Yeah. It's only 2 times. I'm only creative 2 times. Daytime. Only 2 times. Yep. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. So how long, I mean, the clients that you've had, how long have you been doing that type of marketing where you use the gifts and the creative gifts? You know what? It's actually a newer piece of what I do, because somebody came to me about, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, something like that, like maybe a year ago. And they're like, this is amazing, but I don't want to do this. Can I just pay you to do it? And I was like, you want to pay me to make boxes? I'd be happy with that. I like arts and crafts, you know? And a lot of people say arts and crafts. I mean, I don't see it that way, but a lot of people see it that way. And I think what people are most mesmerized about it when they actually see a box is how beautifully it's wrapped. And I think that's what people sort of equate to, oh, I can't do that. I'm not that precise. And it just makes me really happy to make them.
I think that you're onto something big. And here's, here's what I'm thinking, especially kind of down that road of the alchemy. So many people, whether it's in social media or sending an email campaign, they are trying to get, or video, they're trying to get somebody's attention. I want your attention. What you do when you send this out is you flipped it and say, you have my attention. And that is such a huge distinction in a world that everybody's trying to say, hey, look at me. You're sending them something that says, I'm looking at you.
Totally. And that's like, this is such a beautiful segue, Jeff, into what else we can use these boxes for. People are like, but I don't have mailing addresses. And I'm like, I can't work with you then. Like if you're literally stopped by not being able to find a mailing address, we had issues, because you can find mailing addresses. You can find anybody you want to. 6 degrees of separation, like the research on that was done in the 70s, I believe, by a German man. Hello, Facebook. Like, we play 6 Degrees of Alyssa. I have never been stumped, ever. I have a friend, Jeff, do you know the book Walking on the Glass Floor?
No.
Okay. Judy Hoberman put the book out last year. It's for women in corporate who want to do well. And she is like the most brilliant, beautiful human. Like, I'll get you a copy. And, she was saying to me like, oh, I'm having trouble. Nobody in my network knows somebody at Nike. Like, we really want to get in. And I went, okay, give me like 10 minutes. And I posted on my Facebook page and I was like, hey, looking for a contact at Nike. Who knows somebody? Literally that afternoon, got a response. My brother-in-law, uncle, whatever is so-and-so at Nike. And I went, okay, can you just ask if it would be okay if I made an introduction? Just like that in 3 days. And her PR people couldn't get it.
Wow.
So, certainly I'm not perfect either, but, open your mind, like we can do this. And so when we talk about what we can do with these boxes, it's not just about reaching the people we want to, it's about like sending something beautiful to the people that are already in our networks. If you know something is going on with your people, like have your VA, if you can't do it, have your VA or your in-person assistant or whoever it is, send something to that person to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Like send a card, for God's sake. People are like, I don't have any cards. I'm like, get a drawer full. There are local artists everywhere. Like, I have drawers full of cards. I did this really neat project. I don't know if I told you about this, Steve. I did a really, really neat project at the end of last year called the Not Birthday Card Project. All I wanted to do was bring happiness to people's mailboxes. And I was doing Seth Godin's Alt MBA at the time. And so I posted in our group and I said, would anybody like mail? I have this project I'm doing. And I literally sent mail all over the world.
Wow.
People love getting mail. I was getting pictures. People would send me a picture and they'd be like, check it out. I got your card. Check it out. My kids. People were like, can you send a card to my kids? And I was like, sure. So I'd send cards to kids. And my mom's turning 50. Will you surprise her with a card? Sure. And I sent a card to the Ukraine. And I got a picture back from somebody in Malaysia. And somebody in front of like literally held up this card. And it was this beautiful, like foggy, lovely background with like temples and this like cartoon bug card. They're like, I got your mail. Like people love getting mail. It is not, if you have to ask for their address, just ask for it.
Yeah.
I'd like to send
I've got something for you. Can I?
Totally.
Yeah, I've got something special for you. I'd like to send you something.
Mm-hmm. And the whole piece about like, oh, well, what if their assistant opens it? Let me tell you something, friends. If these are your, like, if these are arguments in your head, then you shouldn't be in business. Like, ask what's possible, not what's not possible. And for the record, most of the time, assistants, secretaries, receptionists, they don't open packages. They'll open like letters, but they don't open packages. Those are usually left for the person they're addressed to.
Yeah, no doubt.
And if they're not, like imagine getting 2 snow globes. Like, what are you going to do? Keep that to yourself or go show everybody in the office?
Yeah, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding. We did a thing also in Wild Things, which is when we did this thing called the Wild Things Wow. Mm-hmm. And if you wanted to send somebody seafood, like an awesome gift of seafood and or steak, right? Mm-hmm. I would ask you, okay, give me their information. And then I would ask something and go, what makes these people extraordinary in your eyes? And they would tell me. And so I would say, like, if Nic wanted to send you some steak and some seafood, I would send a video and I would say, Alyssa, this is Jeff Moore from Wild Things Seafood. And Nic
I love it.
Is sending you a Wild Things wow. Oh, you are going to love this. And I'd talk about the stuff. And I go, and by the way, I was talking to Nic. And he was just telling me that he thought that you were so special. And every time he sees you when you walk in the room, he feels like something great is going to happen. And boy, I'll tell you, that was just something that really touched my heart. And I just thought I'd want to share it with you. And I called it the gossip video because people love hearing what people are saying about them, and we would do that. And I mean, I was sending stuff to people. I was like, oh my God, I'm sending really cool like stuff to John Walker, Jeff Walker's brother. And I mean, just all kinds of people that I'd meet at these events going, dude, that's you. Like, it was just, and it was so fun because I wasn't sending, Lisa Sasevich would use me a lot to send a lot of these things out. And so would JJ Virgin. And it was just so fun to do, but it's that connection, that special connection again, where we're not trying to get their attention. We're showing that they have our attention. And I haven't even thought about that till right now in that way. But I just think that that's such a great, juxtaposition and some a unique delivery that says, hey, I'm thinking about you. I mean, I'll pick up phones when I'm driving and I'm driving like this ridiculous trip that I have to do for 2.5 hours tomorrow morning and back. I'll scroll through my favorites on my phone and just go, hey, I was just thinking about you. I thought I'd give you a call.
Yep.
And it's just become such a special deal. But what you do is you say, I was thinking about you and I wanted to send you something special. And what you do for your clients to be able to do that and to have that special note and something that's so creative that it becomes shareable.
And you know what, can we even go one step further here? Because I got something really cool. So, for those people out there going like, I don't know what to do. I'm not creative. I mean, beyond the call Alyssa, like beyond that, my friends, like you can do other things that feel that special. There is a fabulous woman. You all must look her up. If you don't, lie to me and tell me you did. And she's called Leah Lana's Bananas. And
I know about her.
Right? So a year ago, she looked down and she's like, oh, bananas are the only fruit that smile back at you. And she cut up some bananas and put them on a stick and started dipping them in chocolate. And they are gorgeous. Never mind tasty. They are gorgeous. She only used like top of the line stuff. She is so in demand right now that Caesars in Las Vegas is after her for the last few months to get her a place in one of their properties. Like that's how good these are.
Oh my goodness.
And I met her, Leah Lana's Bananas. Okay.
Nice.
I mean, I have pink hair. Her entire head of hair is pink. I mean, you should see this woman. She's amazing.
Is it a real color? No, I'm just kidding.
What do you know what I tell people? I'm like, yeah. So the pink is natural. The gray is dyed. That's what I tell people. So seriously. So I had the privilege of spending the weekend with her and your favorite tire man, David.
Nice.
And so we spent the weekend in Las Vegas doing this amazing branding workshop. And she said to me, she's like, oh my God, there's so much to do. I'm so overwhelmed. People don't do what they say they're going to do. Da, 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 da. And one of the things she said to me is like, all I want is an animated logo. Like, is that too much to ask? She's not my client yet, officially. We're going to do work together. We have a call on Friday booked. But you know what? I called my audio or my visual, my AV, like video person. I was like, Andrew, I need a favor. I'm like, I'm going to send you an AI file of a logo. Can you animate this for me? And I did that I did that this afternoon, and he animated that logo this afternoon for her as a surprise. And I was so excited. I sent it to her. Like, what do you think is more effective? That? Or oh, hi, Leilana, it's Alyssa calling. And like, I was just wondering.
Yeah, right.
That was her box.
You got my attention. That was her
box.
Everything you did, you got my attention. Yeah. Yep. I'm paying attention. I get you. And I want, that is extraordinary. Well, listen, we were talking about show notes and how do we get people to connect with you? And Nic, were we talking about Preeminence Unleashed /twist? Now let's get into that.
All right, let's do that.
What the hell's twist, and where did that come from? And I mean, I could probably give you about 50 guesses on why it's twist, because you really do twist. Like we just talked about, everybody's trying to get somebody's attention. You're showing that you have their attention. They have your attention. That's a twist, right?
It is a twist.
The twist that you have on marketing, the twist that you have on the way you decided to get into speaking. But where is the real origin of twist and the nickname twist?
So I feel like this is a song that starts a long, long time ago.
Okay.
So in 2007, I was in a little teeny tiny town in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And I was with a friend, and I was working at that summer camp at the time. Okay. So I was just there for the summer, and we were looking to make sure that nobody was going to get bumped as we walked into the street around my car. We were about to leave. And so I walk out, and I don't see my trailer hitch is attached to my car. And I trip over my trailer hitch, and I fall into the street, and I twist both my ankles at the same time. And I am the only human between the two of us that can drive standard. So with two twisted ankles that are like the size of basketballs, I have to drive my car back.
Oh my God.
And anyway, so twist stuck. That is
twisting both ankles is that is a skill in and of itself.
That might be more impressive than the marketing on the spot.
Exactly.
Hey!
How do you, unless you're falling off of like a ladder, how do you twist both ankles? That is extraordinary.
That's a gift.
Rude.
It's a gift. But so preeminenceunleashed.com/twist. If you're watching this live, it's not up yet. But it will be by the end of the day. And that's going to be the best way to get in touch, or just drop into our group, because Alyssa is going to be jamming in there and doing this marketing on the spot with us live.
Definitely.
I just love what you're doing. And I think that it's something that you could talk to 100 people online and they're not doing what you're doing. And it's unique. And honestly, I remember this 2009, Gary Vaynerchuk was speaking at the original Tony Robbins, and it actually Chet Holmes at the time, the Ultimate Business Mastery Summit. And about 10 minutes into his keynote that went for over an hour, which was amazing with Q&A and everything. I mean, 500 people in the room and 20 people were on Twitter at the time. This is March of 2000, March 31st, 2000, like this Saturday would be the, the deal, right? March 31st, 2009. So 10 years ago, the 10-year anniversary. And he was up there speaking. Nobody knew who the hell this guy was. He was this, brash Jersey boy. And he was apparently had this wine show on YouTube, or it wasn't even on wine. It was on Vidler. It was like, it was just, yeah. I mean, it was hilarious. He had the Wine Library TV, and he got up there, and in 10 minutes, he goes, "You want a good business model?" And we're like, "Yes." And he goes, "Care. Thank you very much." Like, good night. Like, it was like and it's just, I think that there's so much, like, what do you call it? It's like facade, there's so much, the what's the flooring that the linoleum.
Dude, I know someone named Linoleum. You think twist is bad? I have a friend called Linoleum.
Oh my goodness.
Moving on.
But there's so much of this kind of forced, I feel your pain type deal. And you've come at this with such a different twist.
Hey,
there it is again. Right. That it's just the whole thing goes back to the very first word that I came up with was alchemy. That you're actually creating opportunity where people aren't looking, and you're turning nothing into something by showing proactively that you not only do you understand, but you care about that person.
I really do.
The most overused word I think in business right now is partner.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, hey, we want to be your partner. Okay, define partner. What do you mean define partner? I know I have a good partner. I know I'm being a good partner when ... Give me fill in 5 bullet points. And they're like, well, we get good product and we sell it to you. I go, that's a transaction. That's not a partnership. Keep going. They don't get it. And so if you really truly especially how this really works in B2B, where there's so much noise and there's so much skepticism and there's so much, you know, they don't know who they're really doing business with in a lot of cases. And so there's so much commoditization of this business that when you come in and lead with your heart, lead with this thing that is saying, not pay attention to me, give me your attention. I'm paying attention to you and I want you to know it. Here's tangible evidence that I am paying attention to you. Whether you know me or not, you're going to know me now because I know you and I'm paying attention to you. And I just think that that's such an extraordinary twist on this business. And I just want to thank you so much for spending time with us tonight. I mean, absolutely. You know, and I get so excited when listening to you, and I know you and I can sit there and jam and riff all day long on stories that, you know, it's just so great to talk to you. And I look forward to talking to you again. Let's do it again.
Yeah. And real quick, I know Alyssa and I had a quick 45-minute jam before this, and you're going to have a new URL, a new domain. By the time anybody hears this outside of the people watching it live, it'll be good to go. Can you tell me what it is?
It's marketingonthespot.com.
Okay, marketingonthespot.com. And if you're listening right now, because I can't comment without goofing up the Zoom, will you type that in there for me, Lewis, Timothy, Sam, Ashley, somebody watching? Just marketingonthespot.com, please.
Marketingonthespot.com. That's fantastic. I like when people you give them marketing on the spot. They go, so is that all one big word? No, there's spaces in there.
Yeah.
No, go ahead and put spaces in. It'll work.
See what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So marketingonthespot.com.